LG G6 versus OnePlus 3T speed test coming up right now. Let's go. Guys, Nick here helping you to master your technology, and welcome to the LG G6 versus the OnePlus 3T speed test. Now this is going to be a good one because both of these rock the Snapdragon 821 CPU. So let's begin with the boot up tier on both devices. So the button's in the back of the G6 and the 3T is on the right side. So definitely 4 gigs of RAM here for the LG G6, 2K display here. OnePlus 3T does rock out with 6 gigs of RAM, a 1920 by 1080p Super AMOLED display. It's gorgeous. This one's a little bit better in my personal opinion when it comes to display quality. It's just sharper than the 3T. This guy does have punchier colors though, so if you like punchier colors, go with 3T. So you've seen the LG G6 was the win on the boot up test. Alright guys, so before we go any further, let's go ahead and test those fingerprint scanners. I want to show you how fast the 3T's fingerprint scanner is in comparison to other phones. You've seen it's even quicker than the G6, and the G6 is no slouch when it comes to the fingerprint scanner, but the 3T is just hands down the fastest fingerprint scanner I've ever used on pretty much any smartphone. That includes iPhones. Both the LG G6 and the OnePlus 3T are running Android 7.0 Nougat, but this guy is running 7.1 in Nougat here. So this is the later version of it. This is like the first version of it here on the G6. So definitely some bugs have been squashed when it comes to the OnePlus 3T, whereas there is just the same stock Android 7.0 or the first edition on this LG UX here over for the LG G6. So let's go ahead and begin with the app test now. So I do have the same applications lined up on both the LG G6 and the OnePlus 3T over there. So you can see right here, if I come home, let's go into calendar on both. And it looks like the LG G6 a little bit quicker there. Coming home, let's go into calendar or calculator. That looked about the same, maybe the G6. Animations are set to 0.5 across the board here on both these phones. Let's go into Twitter. And Twitter loaded the full site on the LG G6, so that one's not fair. Let's go into eBay. And you can see eBay quicker on the G6. So the G6 is a smoking phone. Let's go into Amazon. And you can see Amazon quicker for the OnePlus 3T, but both are pretty neck and neck right now. What about Best Buy? Let's see what happens on Best Buy. I'm giving that one to the G6. Coming home here, let's go into Instagram. And that is the OnePlus 3 tits. Coming home here, let's go into Wikipedia. And you could see that looked about the same. Coming home, let's go into Play Newsstand. And that looked like the OnePlus 3T. What about Lightroom? Lightroom goes to the 3T there. API and you could see API looking first there for the LG G6. Nice stuff, LG G6. Subway Surfer. So here we get into some games, and let's see what happens with the games here for both devices. Sure, the media is down. Looks like the 3T both have the same GPU as well, the 530 Adreno. So both are rocking the same GPU, so it should be about the same, but it looks like the OnePlus 3T says, nope, I'm ahead here on this one. So I'm giving the gaming round so far to the 3T. Let's test Temple Run. I'm not a big gamer, so I'm not running super heavy graphic things, but I will open Dead Trigger, which is a little bit more demanding than these two games right here. So that looked about the same on both. Let's go into Dead Trigger on both. And you can see Dead Trigger looks to be ahead there for the OnePlus 3T. So the OnePlus 3T is a smoking in performance, and it looks like it might be a little bit faster than the G6 around the board here. The G6 is keeping up just fine, but it looks like there's a slight, very slight speed edge to the OnePlus 3T. See OnePlus 3T again. Coming home, let's go into CPU-Z. And you can see just how similar these guys are in specifications. Snapdragon 821, Adreno 530 CPU at 652 megahertz. Device, they both have, you know, a lot of RAM, but this one has 6 gigs of RAM, and this one has 4 gigs of RAM here. What about some multitasking here? So let me go into some of these older applications and run some multitasking. Let's go into calendar, about the same, and the G6 has been proven to be a great multitasking phone. Let's go into calculator. And let's go into eBay. And you can see the OnePlus 3T better there on that multitasking round. What about Best Buy? And the 3T again. So the 3T might be the champ of Android when it comes to multitasking. Well, the OnePlus 5 now, but I'm just saying for these older phones here, you can see. But I'm sure the OnePlus 5 is not going to be too much faster than the 3T, as it's not that much different in terms of the specifications. The 835 is not a quantum leap. It's a pretty decent leap, but it's not a quantum leap forward. Let's go into something else. I think I opened pretty much everything. What about a game, Dead Trigger? So that had to reload there on the G6. That's why it was lagging, whereas this guy had it open. So definitely a win there for the OnePlus 3T in the multitasking round. All right, so let's go ahead and run a browser test. I'm gonna locate Google Chrome on this device over here, the LG G6, and I'm gonna locate Google Chrome here on the OnePlus 3T, and we're just gonna go ahead and go to, let's see, YouTube. Let's just go to youtube.com on both devices, youtube.com on the G6, the OnePlus 3T, and let's hit go. And you can see YouTube first there on the 3T, now the G6. So that's stock Android, basically stock Android on the OnePlus 3T with Oxygen OS. Just seems a little bit better optimized than LG over here. What about yahoo.com? Yahoo.com, let's hit go on both. You can see the OnePlus 3T definitely slightly ahead. Maybe the G6 actually won that round. I didn't know which one won that round. You guys let me know down below. I think it was a 3T on Yahoo. Let's go to oneplus.net. Let's go to oneplus.net. Let's hit go. And you can see oneplus.net first for the OnePlus 3T. Look at that OnePlus 5. That one's coming soon to the channel. Stay tuned. Coming home here. And yeah, that's pretty much it when it comes to the browser test. What about the cameras? So let's go up with cameras. And you can see camera, it's asking me to change it to SD card storage. So let's do that again because the LG wants to ask me about some storage issues. So let's go into camera one more time, 3, 2, let's go. And you can see it looks like the 3T is ready to snap a picture first, but I can't really tell because they're on the front or the rear cameras. So we're gonna do this again, but this time we're gonna do it with the front cameras. So we did that with the rears. I hope it doesn't go back to the rears because I closed it. Okay, let's hit the camera. And no, it looked like the 3T was first there. So the 3T is going to be a faster picture taking experience, but definitely the G6 has a better camera. I can tell you that right now. I've used both of these extensively. The G6's rear camera is just a boss. It's really, really good. All right, guys, so one last thing. Let's go ahead and run a Geekbench on both of these devices. Since they have similar processors, this should be a nice test to see. Like I say, 4 gigs of RAM here for the G6, 6 gigs of RAM on the 3T. That might be a little bit overkill on the 3T. It's been discussed. I don't think it is. I think it makes the 3T just run a little bit snappier and a little bit better with the 6 gigs of RAM. And I can't wait to get my hands on that 8 gig of RAM OnePlus 5 here. But you can see, definitely gonna wait on this one. We'll be back when this is done. Alright guys, so as you can see, the OnePlus 3T is finished with an 1879 on the single core and a 4107 on the multi-core. So pretty good scores here for the OnePlus 3T, but can the LG G6 beat it here? This would be surprising if it does. I don't think it will, but you can see it is now done at 1751 on the single core, 3569 on the multi-core. So in Geekbench benchmarking, the OnePlus 3T outbenches the G6. Okay guys, so that pretty much wraps it up here for me of the LG G6 versus the OnePlus 3T. Now, which phone do you think is better, the G6 or the OnePlus 3T? I'm gonna do a different video where I say, should you buy the G6 or the 3T? So subscribe for that to see the comparison, the full comparison between these two. This was just a speed test, but I would say the OnePlus 3T is the speedier phone overall, but the G6 is red hot on its heels, so this is probably not the deciding factor between these two phones. But let me know your thoughts down below. Hit that thumbs up if you liked this video, subs if you loved it. I will catch you all in the next one. Be sure to be well, and peace.